So the Phoenix Suns, who most people thought would be unguardable, got locked up. The Minnesota Timberwolves, who people slept on throughout the regular season, are performing at a high level. And the young star in Anthony Edwards put everyone on notice that the torch is starting to get passed to the youth. Picture this, an unstoppable force averaging a jaw-dropping 31 points, 8 rebounds and 6 assists per game. But wait, there's more. Edwards didn't just dominate, he did it with style, obtaining a true shooting percentage of 64%, showcasing his finesse and precision on the court. And if you thought that was impressive, his net rating of positive 60 in this series solidifies himself as a game changer. When you get someone who is fully locked in, this is when you get to see their full potential, as Edwards can key in defensively to not only steal this pass as Gordon tries to throw it right past him, but when he's hounding Bradley Beal on this drive, he's aware that Gobert is there to cut him off, so Ant releases off of him to then anticipate this pass back to Nurkic, get a hand on it, and now the ball is going the other way. Put him in a chamber is what I stated in my previous video over the Wolves, because with their defensive talent, they truly had the Suns in shambles. Not only were they in that chamber and couldn't get out, but they had to watch the other team cook up some good food at the barbecue, as all they could do was just watch. Now with the Suns in Cancun, they can review the film to see how they got torched, but in real time, they had front row seats to an Anthony Edwards cookout. With the bigs playing drop coverage, instead of trying to push through this gap where he could get cut off by 2 defenders closing in on him, Ant decides to stop and pop right over the top for the midi. You can see this a lot through the series, where Ant's man will go over the screen, so with him snaking around and keeping his defender on his hip, when he decides to step back while Bill is off balance, this gives Edwards even more space to rise up comfortably and knock the shot down. With him picking his spots on the floor wisely, you would notice Edwards not rush into situations and instead reset the play, so now with this whole left side cleared out for him, he can attack baseline, give Bill a slight bump to create that separation, and the mid-range fade is straight cash. This adjustment to stop before getting too deep on his drives was major, because we did see these times where he would end up in a pool of defenders making turnovers when trying to pass it out, but with the simple adjustment of either finding the open man or stopping and popping for the jumper, it changed the entire way Phoenix was able to guard him. When Booker opens up his hips all the way, funneling Ant into Nurkic, this is so the double team can be initiated when Ant pursues the rack, but with Edwards being a step ahead of them, he stops right at that free throw line for the bucket. On this play, Grayson Allen stood no chance in staying in front of Edwards, but with Phoenix wanting to force Edwards into their bigs down low, when he rises up for the jumper, it catches Allen off guard, so now the contest is pretty much non-existent as he banks this in off the glass. It truly takes a certain level of skill, focus, and patience to navigate to your spots when the defense is trying to force you to do what they want, but when you make that adjustment to use the jumper instead of driving into the defense, this is where it becomes difficult to guard you. If you've been rocking with me for a while, you know I always say the mid-range game is one of the most important skills for a scorer to have because it opens up your entire game to the max. When you use that hezzy to get downhill, defenders are going to think you're going to drive all the way to the basket, so here's where you can feed that step back to sink it right over the top. And then when you want to slow it down and methodically pick apart the defense, if you have some footwork out that post, then you can deliver this spin move for the butter.
Edwards turns and hits.
Now, as much as that mid-range will unlock your game, we all know that Edwards is a bona fide threat when it comes to his slashing. I mean, for real, you can't tell me this ISO into a blow-by going to the rack to then slam it over Durant isn't nasty.
Edwards. Oh, Edwards!
Ooh-wee! Don't lie, you know that one got you out your seat a little bit. But if you're still hating and saying it didn't, well, how about this drive where Ant splits the defense off the screen, and with Booker sliding over to help, this pass to the corner is now wide open, but with Ant only having the rim in his sights, he feeds Booker this Euro to slip right around him, and the soft touch on the lay is perfect for the bucket. With Edwards having this gear he can shift into, if there's even the slightest opening on the court, he can punch into that second gear, go right past the defense, and this slam at the rack is just too easy. You can try your best to close that gap when he's coming at you with speed, but since he knows it's coming, Ant will cradle the ball through the traffic, decelerate on his last 2 steps, and now with Bill's momentum carrying him past Edwards, it's an easy 2 points off the glass. There's honestly many ways Edwards can get crafty on his way to go score inside, such as falling away from the defenders to place it perfectly off the glass. He can slow it down before bursting through that gap to go lay it home. And when you throw the double at him, sure it could get him to give the ball up, but when one of the guys doubling is a big, Edwards will blow past him in a heartbeat, and now with only KD to beat, Edwards uses that rim as protection to go up and under.
Forcing them into the drives and not
having this ability to slice the defense up inside does so much for your game, because with teams wanting to keep you out the paint, they're gonna bite hard on even the slightest move you give them, and now you have nothing but space and opportunity to let it fly. What looks like a wide open lane to attack the rim off the catch here turns into a jab step to all out full Devin Booker, so now with the defense just watching, it's bombs away. And if you make the mistake of continuous backpedaling when he's coming right at you, then with rhythm, Ant will rise up and bury the jumper right over you. As I pointed out earlier, Phoenix was playing drop coverage on Ant to force him to shoot rather than drop to the rack, but trust and believe this was not the brightest idea. Because when you let Edwards see some daylight and fire from deep, all this does is give him a boost of confidence. If you do get him to pass it away, well, if you leave him open, then from 29 feet, he's gonna dot your eye. If you dare him to shoot it and aren't ready, well, hand down, man down. And with his craftiness to shift Durant and then evade the double team, he's gonna fire it up and let you hear it.
Words around the double team, gotta look, butter, Ant-Man in full effect.
This absurd shot making during this series made it entirely too difficult for the Suns to contain him one-on-one, so that's when we saw the double teams come into play, but that, my friend, wasn't the best idea either. With his burst to the rim, when he attacks these closeouts, this makes the help defense shift over to stop the drive, but now with a shooter left wide open, the connection to McDaniels is easy money. With this much attention on him off these pick and rolls, it's pretty much pick your poison. Do you want to let Edwards attack your big downhill? Probably not, so that's where the double comes in. Do you want Rudy Gobert to get a wide open layup off the roll? Probably not either, so that's where the help defender commits to him. So now what do you have left? A zip out to Conley go into the corner for the straight money ball. Having a guy on your team who can gain this much attention from the defense is great because not only will it open up those three-pointers, but with the lanes wide open to attack when receiving the ball, here's where we get these thunderous slams.
Forces him to give it up. Major slam, McDaniels.
This series was truly the Anthony Edwards cinema, as he showcased every tool in his bag and straight up went to work on the Suns' defense. The playoffs are a time where you need your star players to take it up to another level, and Anthony Edwards did just that to help the Timberwolves pull out those brooms on a 4-0 sweep and advance to the next round. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to see when videos are uploaded. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.